Yo, let me get situated a little bit. What's good? Damn, my camera should have some more shades to it. Sorry about that. Sorry about the little pause. Welcome to Just Prince TV. Damn, some intro. Popcorn had me choking a little bit. Now, I said when I get down to 1,000 subs, I was going to do a live stream. So I figured, since this is 2026, hip hop news is everywhere. People are saying the streets is coming back. So if the streets is coming back, let's get into it. And let's talk about it. Now, if you're new to Just Prince TV, I talk about music, politics, social events, and gaming. All right. Now, my gaming is only on shorts. I do like 3-minute shorts for my gaming, and that's it. But my actual videos is mainly about the stuff that you see here in the background, hip hop. Now, if you're new to my channel, Just Prince TV, I'm from New York City, Queensbridge to be exact. Growed up around hip hop, met a lot of hip hop artists. So I'm very educated when it comes to hip hop. And that's no bullshit, no clout, no anything. One thing I know is hip hop. So, we're going to talk about Max B being back, being the face of New York right now. Looks like I have to owe Max B an apology. I do owe Max B an apology because I didn't know he was going to be hot the way he is now. He is basically the face of New York. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks and who I think is better. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into a lot. But first things first, we're going to talk about JaRule, Tony Yayo, and the whole 50 Cent stuff. All right. So, all right, I had to put the light up on. Much better. Whew. I'm gonna have to learn how to get better lighting for my live streams, right? Like, that's really like a must. Now, stop, dogs. I'm going on live and I'm getting distracted by a bunch of dogs. Stop. Would you having breathing problems? Okay. Oh, I can't even give you no water because you didn't get your thing. Okay. Here's the situation. JaRule, on that whole airplane incident, that whole fight. Listen, we got to get into it. We're going to have to break this down a little bit because you can't be the victim and the thug at the same time, right? You got to pick one. Now, JaRule recently apologized for his actions on the plane, right? He want to apologize and said his actions were uncalled for, this, that, and the third. But you guys was praising JaRule for quote unquote standing up for himself, right? So if you're standing up for yourself, you're setting an example for your family and the people around you. You was trying to hold them down. You didn't want to get punked. You didn't want to be called a sucker. Why are you apologizing for that for? This just makes JaRule look even more weak. This is why I say JaRule is not from the streets. JaRule is the guy that wanted to get accepted by the streets. He's the guy that aligned himself with people from the streets. But he himself is not from the streets. Okay? JaRule is not murder. He's not a gangster. None of that stuff that he's trying to present in front of you. That is not JaRule, right? He's just a guy that wanted to be accepted. He's not even from Southside Jamaica, Queens, all right? He from a nice neighborhood in Hollis, Queens. He ain't from the hood. He from Hollis, Queens. He had a good upbringing. And Hollis, Queens get busy a little bit. I'm not saying they don't get busy, but anybody that knows about Hollis know Hollis don't get down like that. I mean, it's a suburban neighborhood. It's all right. You know, Hollis is all right. You know, but nevertheless, here's the problem with the whole JaRule situation, right? Now, JaRule's not the only artist to come out of Hollis, Queens. You got LL Cool J, you got Run DMC, right? So Hollis has a little bit of a history in hip hop, all right? But here's the crazy part about it. Now, you apologize for defending yourself, right? You don't see Tony Yayo apologizing. You don't see Uncle Murder apologizing. If anything, based off what you guys been saying, those are two guys that should be apologizing, right? But no, they back up what they say. All right? They are exactly what they say they are. The same thing don't hold for JaRule. You just embarrassed your family by apologizing. You couldn't stand 10 toes down on your own decision to defend yourself, quote unquote, right? These dudes was trying to herb you. They was trying to play you. And you said, hey, I had enough of this shit. I want to stand up for myself. Everybody giving you sympathy for standing up for yourself. Don't you be bullied no more, JaRule. Y'all want to act like JaRule's all innocent. This is the same guy that named his group Murder Inc. This is the same guy that called himself a dog. This is the same guy that had an image of trying to be from the street when he really not. So if he ain't none of these things that you say he is, right? Or he isn't none of these things that he say he is, you have to pay a price for that. You can't be a thug and not do thug things, right? King Von said he was a gangster and he lived the life of a gangster. And guess what? He died like a gangster. Shut up. Right? So if King Von lived like a gangster, died like a gangster, then I got no gripe with that. I'm not condoning violence, but the man is who he say he is. But JaRule is not who he say he is. Now he's going to get the sympathy card from you. But you wasn't giving this man the sympathy card when he was wearing a bandana talking about he murder. He named his group Murder Inc. So if you name your group Murder Inc., why are you being bullied by a guy that you claim that is fake and this, that, and the third? Why can't you handle 50 Cent? It's been going on too long to not handle 50 Cent. He's still walking the streets breathing. 50 Cent is still alive breathing, JaRule. If you tired of being mocked, you tired of people saying, yo, 50 ended your career, why won't you do something about it and let this man know that you ain't playing? I tell you why, because you're not really about that life. That's why. That's what it comes down to. Because you think the Locks, you think Nas, you think any of these dudes will continue to put up with a guy like 50 Cent trying to beef with them forever? Nah. They say, yo, we putting an end to this right now. Right? Because don't beef with those guys don't last long. It's either going to be me or you. And my whole thing is, why is either one of these guys still walking around? If this beef is as dangerous or as real as they claim it is, why are both of these guys walking around still breathing? You mean to tell me all that money 50 Cent got, he can't get JaRule touched? If JaRule's so much of a problem, or is it does he just want the guy to live in misery? So if 50 Cent really is the villain, he the bad guy, right? He the guy in the hood that bullying the kid from the suburbs, which is JaRule. Why are you going to let something happen? Why are you going to continue to let that happen if you're a grown-ass man and you stand on business, JaRule? Let's shake. Let's shake. Why you ain't shaking 50 Cent? Why he's still walking around breathing? Because you got to cut the head off the snake. If you stop 50 Cent, the rest of them G Unit members won't even fuck with you no more. They only following orders because they have to follow 50 Cent. That's it. That's the only reason why that even taking place. Now, Tony Yayo said there was no way that we're going to put this guy next to us for 5 hours without putting our hands on him, slapping him. So they were letting you know that they was going to be the aggressor. So if you JaRule, you were so-called mature about it, you could have told the stewardess, hey, you know what? I'm not rocking with these dudes. I have a history with these guys. I like to be placed in another seat. You was on a plane with 50 Cent and nothing happened. You sat in one seat and 50 sat in the back. You could have did the same thing. Now, instead of, if this is true, you was asking Uncle Murder and Tony Yayo, are they good? Yo, y'all good? Y'all good? Why you keep asking these dudes, are they good? They're going to, at some point, they're going to ask you like, what the fuck are you keep talking about? You could tell on JaRule's face that he looked at like a man defeated. He looked at sad, like a wounded dog. Okay, he normally look like Kermit the Frog, you know, but you could tell that he was a defeated man. And he stood up for himself because he felt like, hey, I'm tired of this shit. Dudes attacked me on the stage a couple days ago. Now I have to deal with Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder. I'm tired of this shit. I want it to stop. So if you want it to stop, you know what you're going to have to do. Because 50 Cent said it himself. This beef won't end until one of us is gone. That's when the beef ends. So if you know that's the case to be, you got to do what you got to do. You think P. Diddy will still tolerate somebody beefing with him? Think about that. P. Diddy put hits out on people. Right? P. Diddy more gangsters than JaRule. You know? P. Diddy is quote unquote rumored to ruin people's lives. He put people down. He put up the money for it. Right? There's word that he put a hit on Pac. That was confirmed. He was about to put up money to have Pac hit. So Diddy is quote unquote real murder. Bad boys move in silence. He can't do nothing now because he's from a jail cell. He's sitting back in the jail cell, but Diddy ain't gonna type of guy that ain't gonna let you beef with him forever. He gonna put an end to that. It's gonna be either you or him. And if Josh is feeling so much fed up, why won't you do something about it? Because this man 50 Cent is going to continue to bully you because he look at you as being soft. And actions like this, apologizing, is soft. You make your family look bad. Because your kids and your family and your loved ones supposed to look at that footage and say, that's my daddy standing up for himself. Two guys was trying to jump him and he stood his ground. He said, let's shake. That's what y'all was saying. Y'all said this dude was standing 10 toes down. He was ready to go. When clearly he wasn't that ready to go because he just apologized. You would never get Tony Yayo apologizing for trying to go at JaRule under no circumstance. And Uncle Murder not even involved in this beef. He just sticking up for 50 Cent because 50 saved his life. That's all he doing. That's all he doing. He just sticking up for 50 because 50 changed that man's life. That's it. Hey, I'm trying to do a podcast here. Stop barking. So, yeah. JaRule need to do something about it. And based off the history of this beef started from a guy robbing JaRule, and he was associated with 50 Cent. 50 Cent went up to JaRule for a handshake to say what's up, and JaRule brushed him off. Now, in JaRule's defense, I'll brush 50 Cent off too if that was the case. Why would I shake your hand and you with the guy that robbed me? In what world will I be cool with shaking your hand and you standing next to the dude that robbed me? Right? And if that dude robbed you, JaRule, why you didn't put that work in on that dude that robbed you? Why you didn't handle that? I can tell you why you didn't handle that, because you're not really from the streets. Never proclaim to be something that you're not. Never proclaim to be something that you cannot handle. If you're a family man, then be a family man and protect your family. You don't see Kanye West getting that type of energy, because Kanye West never said he was a thug. Kanye West never said he was a murderer. King Von said he was a gangster, that he put that work in, that he caught bodies, and he lived up to it. I'm not proclaiming violence. I'm just telling you, these dudes who claim to be stuff, they got to back it up, because that's the type of energy you're putting out in the world. People are going to test you. 50 Cent is that dude that y'all say he is. He is that bully. He is that gangster. He is from the block. Nothing fake. But if JaRule really wanted to get 50 Cent off his back, you're going to have to beat the respect out of 50 Cent. You never did that because you came off soft. 50 Cent said you always was a Pop-Tart. You a cupcake. And JaRule's a very soft, feminine man. You should have just been making love songs with the girls and completely annoying the beef. Why are you getting involved in a beef that you can't handle, that you're not about? Because even if 50 Cent was jealous of JaRule, you could have won Ja by keeping your mouth shut and just keep making songs. You didn't even have to give that energy. You didn't have to give the whole 50 Cent dang energy. You had a chance that you could have just left that off, and your career probably would have been way much better than it is now. Because 50 wouldn't have energy towards you if you didn't went and prolonged it. JaRule let people put Valerie in his back, and he had to defend himself. And now he's in a situation where it's survival of the fittest. Something has to come out of this. This beef's been going on too long to not get an ending result. Somebody, if this beef is really real like they say it is, somebody got to get put down. I'm going to leave it off as this. Tupac once said, quote unquote, if I'm gone and Biggie is still alive, that's a problem. Biggie cannot be walking this earth if I'm gone. Is Biggie still here? No. Tupac know that that beef was most likely going to get him killed. Biggie know that the beef was most likely going to get him killed. And you know what? They both went for it. They both didn't back down. They know that the end was coming. So ask yourself, JaRule, are you willing to die for this shit? Right? Because 50 just gave the word. He ain't changing at all until one of you motherfuckers is put down. Now, I don't know some other stuff behind the scenes. Maybe 50 tried to get Ja hit. Ja tried to get 50 hit. 50 moved like the military, so he hard to get touched, right? He hard to get next to. 50 Cent really protect himself after getting shot. That's what made him a little more smarter than Tupac. 50 Cent is a modern day Tupac, but the Tupac 2.0. He's a better version of what Tupac is. He's a more smarter version of what Tupac is. Everything Tupac is, 50 Cent is, but more masculine, more smarter, more militant, all of that. He like Suge Knight and Tupac roll in one. Right? Tupac was a little bit, he dealt with his emotions. 50 Cent thinks with logic. He don't put feelings involved in a lot of his decisions. Tupac was all about feelings. He got that from being around women a lot. I mean, that's what will happen. You align yourself with a lot of women, you start thinking like a woman, because a man's supposed to think logically. A man's not supposed to think with his emotions. Emotions could get you killed. Now, let's move on to the next topic, because I'm going to be here for an hour. So, the next topic. Max B, I owe apology to. I'm sorry, Max B. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo. Nah, I'm sorry, Max B, because I didn't thought you was gonna be a hit. But you went viral with that Ever Since You Left Me. It's a viral song, millions of streams. It's a hit. You got yourself one. You and French Montana, the Coke wave is back on top. Now just imagine how famous Max B would have been if he didn't get locked up. The fact that he could come home from jail and get this type of buzz is amazing. He even got guys dissing him, like J Hood, a washed up rapper, dissing Max B. Right? Now, unfortunately, nobody checks for J Hood, and he's like literally a nobody in hip hop now, to a point that nobody cares about his diss songs. They're just gonna brush it off. So Max B could kill J Hood without even saying nothing, because J Hood is that not relevant anymore. That's how bad it got for J Hood. Like ever since he left the Locks, his career just went down the drain. It is what it is. And he would never be accepted the way that he wants to be accepted ever again. It is what it is. But I also want to touch on some other stuff, but we're going to still stay with Max B. Max B and that whole Coke wave shit, them boys are doing their thing. All right? Now, I do like some of Max B's songs. I think I Just Want to Smoke, hard. Great song. I thought his mixtape, I believe, I don't know if it's his mixtape. I think the Public Domain is a good one. But I think he did a mixtape before that. It wasn't that good. The one he did with Red Cafe and all them other boys, not that good. But Max B is back. He putting out hits like you never thought he would. He putting out tracks like you never thought he would. Much better artist that he probably one of the artists of the year is Max B. Because he holding down East Coast hip hop, right? And I want to say another thing. People talk about J. Cole, right? Like somebody asked me to rate J. Cole mixtape or some little 8-song, 4-song thing. That's trash. I'm not rating some guy that makes that's rhyming over beats that 50 other dudes already fucking rhymed over, right? How many guys are going to rap over It's All About the Benjamins beat? At some point, it just gets irrelevant. Nobody cares no more. J. Cole, if you really want to prove people that you still that dude and you this and that, you are hip hop, why won't you just drop a new project? Because I can tell you off the bat, nobody cares about you rhyming over beats that like 20 years old. I see a million other dudes rhyming over those beats. Go sit down somewhere if you ain't gonna put no energy into this rap shit and be consistent with it. Be consistent, man. Like Max B is being consistent. He making his own songs, right? Now, is he using some old beats? Yeah, but he using some old beats of songs that nobody else been using. People haven't been rhyming over those beats for 20 years, right? That's like rhyming over MOP's Annie Up beat. How many people are going to make a freestyle to that? Like, get off that. I'm not reviewing some fucking mixtape or quote unquote album. And all it is just you revisiting classic songs that everybody else made. And on top of that, your shit is whack. That whole J. Cole project is trash. He ain't saying nothing. He's saying a whole lot, but a whole lot of nothing at the same time. Complete, utterly trash. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know, but it is what it is. It really is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, get your shit together, man. Be better. You could be better at this rap shit. Just be better. You know, like Max B, he's better. He the hottest dude out in New York. So salute to the wave. You know, I find myself listening to a lot of Max B. Max B is such a unique artist. I never thought I'd be listening to a guy like Max B consistently. But nevertheless, I am. So it is what it is on that aspect. Congratulations to him. Now, I want to talk about another topic because we could get off this one and go on to my last topic, which is Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks. Wherever you go, you see Fabolous versus Lloyd Banks. I remember this argument started back in the early 2000s because people was wondering who's the punchline king of hip hop. Now we're going to take it back to when these two dudes was rhyming and they were in their prime. Because Fabolous is a nobody in 2026. Lloyd Banks is a nobody in 2026. And the third guy that was in this mix, Cassidy, is a nobody in 2026. But let's take it back for a minute. Those three artists was competing for the punchline king. But it really only came down to Lloyd Banks and Cassidy. Somewhere down the line, Fabolous lost that crown. And all people cared about was Lloyd Banks or Cassidy. Who's the punchline king? Now, Return of the Punchline King, the guy that got crowned as the punchline king really was Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks was crowned the punchline king of the 2000s. He got admiration from Kanye West and plenty other people that said Lloyd Banks was the man. And Lloyd Banks was super underrated. So we're going to take a little trip into memory lane with Fabolous. Fabolous came into the game from mixtapes. Fabolous was making mixtapes. He had a lot of hype behind him. He was supposed to be the next Mount Rushmore of hip hop. He's supposed to be the next big thing coming out of New York hip hop. But he failed because his best songs were featured, were being all right. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. Now, as I was saying, all right, let me just fix my audio. You gotta understand, I'm using a old laptop. I had this laptop is from 2026. I mean 2016, but it works so good. I feel the need to not use a new one. But even though I have a new I have more than enough new gadgets and laptops to use. But anyway, I was saying, Fabolous. He came to the scene making good mixtapes, but when it came to making songs and albums, that is his greatest flaw. He don't know how to make good songs and albums. He don't know how to make a classic album. As a matter of fact, his best songs are on being on other people's tracks or being featured with someone else. Fabolous cannot make hit songs really by himself, right? The only song I could think of that he did that was a little bit of a hit was Breathe. No, 1 and the 2 and the 3. That was it, right? That's the only hit song that he got that he could really make by himself. Lloyd Banks makes his own songs, his own hooks, right? He was different. There's a reason why they call him the Punchline King. Lloyd Banks is technically a better rapper than Fabolous. Fabolous wasn't even the best rapper of his own generation. When it comes to mixtapes, Lloyd Banks have classic mixtapes that's better than some people's albums. Halloween Havoc, The Cold Corner. And I'm not talking about Return of the Body Snatchers, his G-Unit collabos, right? Elephant in the Sand. Lloyd Banks got mixtapes for days. He got some of the best mixtapes in hip-hop history. Lloyd Banks, yes. So he already beat Fabolous on a mixtape surge. He beat Fabolous on a punchline surge. Got better punchlines than Fabolous. Now, 50 Cent was right about one thing. They both make songs good about girls, right? Karma and So Into You, right? Both of these guys know how to make songs talking about girls. They know how to make those lovey-dovey songs, right? Party songs. But you could argue Lloyd Banks is better at that. Hands Up, On Fire, Karma. And when it comes to albums, Lloyd Banks, The Hunger for More is better than Fabolous's, what was it called? Ghetto Superstars? I don't even know what it was. I forgot what it was. But it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. I'm not saying Fabolous can't rap. I'm not saying Fabolous don't got good songs. But when you compare him to Lloyd Banks blows him out the water a little bit. Lloyd Banks got freestyles for days, songs for days, hits for days. I'm not even talking about the G-Unit songs, the Smile, you know, all of them type of joints. He make better lovey-dovey songs than Fabolous. He's more of a diverse artist than Fabolous. Fabolous is a one-dimensional artist. Lloyd Banks could get on some storytelling shit. Lloyd Banks could get on some gangster shit. Lloyd Banks could get on some smooth laid back shit. And Lloyd Banks could get on some like struggle music, like being from the ground up, poverty-stricken music, right? Lloyd Banks is a very diverse artist. He's a better artist than Fabolous. He's a more diverse artist than Fabolous. Fabolous is a good artist to be on other people's songs. Lloyd Banks is just a good artist, period. Lloyd Banks learned how to make hooks from 50 Cent. So not only do Lloyd Banks got better albums, he got better mixtapes. He got better punchlines. He's a more diverse artist. Plus, he's from Queens. You know how we do. The best artists come from Queens. Let me just tell you something. Brooklyn, you guys are right. But the best artists from New York come from Queens. We got the best artists ever. The best artists to ever touch New York come from Queens. Queens got the best artists. The best artists in hip-hop history from New York come from Queens. We better than the Bronx. We better than Harlem. We better than Brooklyn. We better than Staten Island. We better than all them boroughs. We better than Long Island. No place in the world in New York is better than Queens when it comes to hip hop. We got the best artists. Flat out, we got the best artists. Right? Lloyd Banks is better than Fabolous. Better mixtapes, better albums, better songs, more creative with his songs. He even got better group collabos. His projects with G-Unit surpassed most of Fabolous's material. And I'm saying Fabolous don't got some good songs. He got that song that 50 Cent jumped on and made it the remix. 50 Cent took his own song and said, hey, that sounds like a song I would make. And there was at a point where Fabolous wanted to be with G-Unit. Fabolous wanted to sign with G-Unit. Fabolous wanted to be 50 Cent. Fabolous was making, just like everybody in the 2000s, every New York artist wanted to sound like 50 Cent, be like 50 Cent, talk like 50 Cent. The whole G Unit was more than just a culture. It was a wave that took over hip hop. It flat out took over hip hop. Plain and simple. So Lloyd Banks, even today, Lloyd Banks is a better artist than Fabolous. Lloyd Banks put out so many projects, nobody checked for him because, like I said, both of their careers is dead. Lloyd Banks' career is dead. Fabolous' career as a rapper is dead. And none of these guys will get back to where they used to be, right? Fabolous' career really never took off. He never had that moment when you could say Fabolous was like the best artist from New York. He never had that moment. He never had New York on lock. He never was the king of New York. There was always somebody ahead of him, right? It was a DMX, a Nas, a Jay-Z, a 50 Cent. He don't fit in that crowd, but he was supposed to be in it. Fabolous is not even better than Jadakiss. And the fact that he made that one of the worst projects ever with Jadakiss, that shit was trash. That whole Jadakiss and Fabolous, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare stuff, that shit was trash. Two artists that don't know how to make good songs. They just know how to rap. They're mixtape artists. I mean, Jadakiss is a better artist than Fabolous, but he ain't too far off. He better than Fabolous by like a mile. He ain't better than Fabolous by a whole planet, if that makes sense. But he could be better. Like Jadakiss is another dude. Some dudes just don't know how to make good songs. Cassidy don't know how to make good songs. He just know how to rap. Fabolous don't know how to make good songs. He just know how to rap. Jadakiss don't know how to make real good songs. He just know how to rap. Most of Jadakiss albums are lukewarm. That last one he did, like Top 5, Dead or Alive, whatever, that shit was trash. Because he don't know how to make good songs. He don't know how to put a song together from beginning to end. I'm not saying he don't get good songs, but for the majority of his career, he don't know how to put good songs together. Not enough to be called a superstar is what I'm telling you. He was always half and half. Jadakiss is half and half. He got 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out the door. And that's it. Jadakiss is stunted growth. Part of it is because he got blackballed by Jay-Z. Jay-Z stopped at Jadakiss's shine a little bit. Because Jadakiss was that dude. He was supposed to be that guy that's next up. Right? Because everybody loved it, Jadakiss, when Jadakiss was coming out. They thought Jadakiss was the best. But Jay-Z stopped Jadakiss's shine. So Jadakiss couldn't get promoted the way he was supposed to get promoted. It is what it is. But Lloyd Banks is a better artist than Fabolous. He could put together a better song than Fabolous. Now, if you listen to Lloyd Banks now in 2026, you will realize that he don't make the same type of songs that he used to. There's two versions of Lloyd Banks. There's a Lloyd Banks that you have now that just talks about street shit and poverty-stricken and just like hard times. Then you got the Lloyd Banks that was Blue Hefner, the one that made the songs with the girls, party in the club, talking about jewels, flossing. That's not the same Lloyd Banks anymore. It's not the same Lloyd Banks, but any version of Lloyd Banks is better than Fabolous. Why? I'm just going to pick. Queens got the best rappers. We are the best. There's no rappers in the world better than rappers from Queens when it comes to hip hop, right? When it comes to New York hip hop, Queens is the best. So we got to compete with dudes from Philadelphia, probably ATL. We abide them too, So basically, I may be saying the best rappers, quote unquote, like lyricists, they come from Queens. Queens got the best rappers. And that's no cap. That's just the truth. Hold on. I ain't just saying that because I'm from Queens. I'm just saying, even if I wasn't from Queens, I still feel like Queens got the best rappers. It is what it is. But we out, y'all. Peace.